Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's Women's History Month, I'm here today to talk to you about Power Rangers Ninja Storm, Episode 9, Snippet. Snippet good! So this is a Tori-centered episode, and I really like Tori. She was the only female on this entire season, and not only that, but she is indeed the very first female to be a Blue Ranger. We finally saw a female we finally saw a Blue Ranger wear like a skirt. And that was something huge at that time. I believe this came out like what, 2001 or 2002 or something like that. I believe I might have been yeah, I was starting off college then. Like that was my first year of college and everything. And this was when Power Rangers went over to New Zealand. So at first I did not know that. But then as I'm starting to like listen to people's voices and looking at the scenery, I'm all like, some of these people's voices sound kind of different. But they do a good job of the American accent. And so then I saw the end credits in New Zealand, like, what? Being a huge Hercules and Xena fan, I knew all about that and stuff. And so, originally, Emma Lahana, who played Kira in Dino Thunder the next season, she actually auditioned for like Tori but lost out. But thank God she got Kira though. And it's so funny because the actress Sally Martin, who plays Tori and everything, Tori Hansen, I believe her name is, she was in Wendy Wu, I think it's called Female Warrior or something Warrior, Homecoming Warrior and stuff. And so like she's in that playing another American. And then also Anna from Jungle Fury, she was in that too. So it's like so cool to have two female Rangers that weren't even Rangers at that time. And then the dude who played like, the male love interest and the male lead in that movie, he was the voice of a villain from Wild Force and everything. So that's like insane to have that Power Ranger connection. Plus a lot of the teachers have appeared multiple times in Power Rangers and stuff. And so I've always liked Tori, other than the fact, of course, she's cute and she's the only female on the team. But it was cool having the very first blue female ranger. We've only had two. The other one was in Mystic Force. And so Tori was always a cool character. She wasn't like smart like Cam, but she had a good sensibility about her where she could figure things out and not always have to use like her fist and stuff. She commanded the power of water. And just like water, her character was very like, fluid and everything. Easygoing, reliable and everything. Powerful when need to be. And so like she always tried to see the good in like people, especially when like the Thunder Rangers came in and she found out who one of them was. So it was kind of like a Kimberly Tommy. Actually, you could call them Tommy and everything. Kimberly and Tommy situation that way, she's trying to convince everybody that look, he's not bad and this and that and stuff like that. And so like if it wasn't for her, the other Rangers would never have came around to like incorporating the Thunder Rangers into their organization. And so like trying to think something else, I can't remember what, but she was also pretty powerful, like I said, when she needed to be. And because like her sensibility of being nice and easygoing and somewhat smart was a whole lot better than like the dudes, because the dudes like were Dustin was just dumb as rocks. And Shane, since he commanded the power of like wind, but then in his Hawk Blaster he will shoot out fire, he had a bit of a temper at times and he was stubborn at times. and pretty pushy and everything. And so I always liked how their elements complemented their personalities and everything. Of course, the Thunder Rangers just came in like a force of lightning and everything, like being the bad dudes, and Cam was like super smart and very snobbish in the beginning and stuff and rude. And even she saw the potential in Cam, and because he used to be rude to all of them, right? But then she was the one who tried to like reason with him and talk to him and everything. Because the thing about the three Wind Rangers is that you would have never guessed they would have been superheroes, because you would never assume they were chosen to be superheroes because of how like lazy they were and like unattentive they were, and they was kind of like the worst of the worst of the ninja students and stuff. And so with this episode, I really like it because she takes front and center in an episode that really highlights her potential as like a ranger and stuff. So it starts off and Sensei wants them to train, and so he has duplicates of themselves, kind of like just like holograms and everything. And so he doesn't tell them what to do. They're supposed to figure it out on their own, use their like inner ninja and use their wisdom. Well, of course, the guys are brash and they start fighting their other selves. Tori's just like looking at herself, and she realizes that, the key isn't force. The key is to be like calm and like, gentle, and not try to use force to quell a situation and everything. So she ends up winning while the other guys just look like fools and everything. And so Sensei gives her like a little scroll, and it's she's supposed to find this very powerful like element and everything. And he doesn't really tell her how to get there. He just said, like, use your inner ninja. And Cam's all like, if your inner ninja fail, here's a scroll with a map. So she's off to do that, while the boys are like, supposed to go to an environmental conference and make sure that's okay, because Lothar is going to try to like crash it and stuff like that. And you know what was really crazy is like, back when Disney had Power Rangers, everything never felt the same. Everything never felt generic, like with the Neo Saban era. 'Cause one of the things I complained about the Nickelodeon eras and stuff like that is that everything looks the same. Their command center always looks the same, and it's always like, just a redress of the same room. They use the same cockpit, but they're standing up thing and do their thing. And it's just, they went that super cheap route and that lazy route. But with Fox Kids in the Disney era, they always went to different locations. Like if they had to film, like, because every Power Ranger season is a different city. And well, except for Turbo, Zeo, and Alien and Mighty, but you know what I'm talking about, right? And so like a little bit of it in space. But beyond that, they would always scout different locations around them and film it. So everything felt different and everything felt fresh. And then for their command center type thing, it would be like a completely different looking building and all this other stuff. It would never resemble anything from like the past. And they don't do that no more. And one thing about Ninja Steel was very unique. It had a brand new, fresh look to it. The music was like electric guitar. Like I always loved it. Like I used to love hearing that whenever they be like doing something and stuff like that. You don't hear that no more. And this is what I'm saying. The older stuff, so much better than the new stuff. And so the guys are at the conference. They're spying on it. And comes the little monster snippet. He has the ability to snip away your worst personalities or your whatever, something like that. So he causes everybody in the conference to fight, and he affects the two guys. So now they're basically just fighting each other throughout the entire episode. Sensei's able to use his mental focus to like, telepathy to like knock them out of it, but that much later in the episode. Now let's get to the Tori stuff. So Lothar has sent in his nieces, Capri and Mar. I always love Capri and Mar, and the two actresses who play them. Capri, I remember her from the Hercules and Xena days, but Mara was brand new, and she showed up in Dino Thunder as a completely different character. And so like they had great chemistry. They had just like sisters who hated each other, but they was very comedic, and that's the one thing that really drove me nuts. the villains were too overly top comedic. Lothar was over comedic, the sisters were over comedic, and it was just like, yeah, it could funny, but it was just too much all the time. And so the thing about the sisters is that they're incompetent, right? Like they just can't get nothing done. So it's weird he would send them to go get whatever it is Tori's supposed to get. They proved in this episode that, hey, there's more to them than just good looks and like a bunch of jokes and everything. They end up whooping Tori's behind and everything. And so like Tori is like, first when she was going to get like, the thing she's supposed to find, she used her inner ninja. She used the water to guide her way because she got lost. Even with the map, she got lost. And I like that because, her and the other guy were never all that perfect. And she was so adorable when she's lost and everything. And so the thing I like about her, she was never dainty. She was never too empowering. She was like a perfect blend in the middle. She was a surfer girl and everything. She likes to ride dirt bikes. She likes to be romanticized and everything. Like, she was like the really cool character. And so when she finds Capri and all them, they fight. And then Capri and them do some really impressive stuff. That's basically just the Sentai stuff. Everything from slicing her with blades to throwing the sword at her to Capri getting really big and blowing a wind on her. And so she's trying her extreme best to like whoop on them. So she finally had enough. And she literally tells them you can like, cause like she found like a turtle, right? It's like a little statue of a turtle. And that's what she was supposed to find. And so they took the turtle from her and she literally tells them you can bash me, thrash me, and trash me all you want, but you keep your hands off my turtle. And so she whips out her sword and she went to town on them. And I love it. But then after a while, she realizes she might not have enough in her. So with them being evenly matched and them getting the upper hand on her and she needs to get that turtle out of there, she uses the same skill she used in the morning. And I love how it went back to that, because it wasn't just like, just some random thing they threw in the morning the beginning of the episode. It was just like something that's supposed to help her through the rest of the episode. So after that, it cuts to her meeting the Rangers. And I love back in the day when their visors and their mouthpiece will like disappear. I love that effect and everything. It's so cool seeing them like that. It's cooler seeing them without their helmets, but that's even cooler. We haven't saw that since Lightspeed Rescue with just the eyes and everything. And so she has the turtle and everything. And so it turns out how she got the turtle was that she offered to give Capri and Mar tons of clothes so they can like, be all girly and doll up because they love being girly and stuff. And so Lothar, of course, is pissed because they gave up the turtle for a bunch of clothes. So he puts them to like cleaning up the ship and everything. So in a way, the monster grows big and they have to get rid of him. So they get in their Zords and it's always fun seeing them in the Zord. And so the turtle turns out it's like, it's part of their Megazord. It's a weapon and everything. So Cam does what he does to put it in the code. It turns into a spear and they use the turtle mace. And it's a really cool weapon. So of course, they defeat the, the monster and everything. And so this was like a really cool episode. It was a really cool Tori-centered episode. I wanted to do this instead of that alternate reality she was in, the other world where the Rangers are bad and the villains are good. That was such a silly episode. God, I hated that episode. So there was no way I was going to talk about that. Happy Women's History Month, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.